Well, hello there. Drake Bellick here, and I am back with another Big Brother stream. We are now just one day away from BB23. And, you know, this season, I mean, it has already delivered some interesting developments, and it hasn't even started yet. I'm, uh, I'm just gonna wait a moment for anyone to show up. But, yeah, we're one day out, and everyone's getting hyped. Everyone's making their predictions. Everyone's doing their drafts, which me and my dad are gonna do a draft, and it'll be the first one I've ever done, and he's ever done for this show. So that should be interesting. I have a few in mind that I want, and I hope he doesn't take before I can get to all of them. Well, he basically already picked one of his, and I won't steal Derek F from him. Derek Frazier, son of Joe Frazier, and that alone is why my dad picked him. So yeah, I I'll let him pick first just because I have a feeling he's just gonna take Derek F as his first pick, which he already did. So it's fair. Pardon me. Okay, well, no one has showed up yet, but let's just get down to business with the big news, the biggest, craziest news. Christie was replaced. Happened Sunday night, I believe. Was it Sunday night or was it Monday by then? I think it was Sunday night. And yeah, Christie's out because she tested positive for the Rona. But she's already come out in an interview and said that she's fine. She's not feeling any symptoms. But of course, they, plenty of people can have it without having any symptoms, and they can still pass it to people, even who are vaccinated. Christie herself was vaccinated, but that just like I'm really worried that this is going to be like a a talking point for the anti-vaxxer segment of the Big Brother fan base, and they're going to be like, "Oh well, look, she was vaccinated and it didn't work, so vaccines don't work." But it's like everyone knows that vaccines they help a lot, but they're not foolproof. So, I'm just hoping that discourse doesn't gain too much traction, or I'm going to be annoyed. But as for Christy, I feel bad for her. This was a huge opportunity, and she got it taken away from her through no fault of her own. Probably she said she was doing all the social distancing, all the safety measures. So yeah, I feel bad for it. And she was in sequester, so I'm guessing whoever she was dealing with while she was in sequester probably gave it to her, and that is really unfortunate. So so yeah, I really hope Christy gets another chance next season. This isn't even like David where he was in the house but then got taken out, but he still got to come back into the house and kind of play the game even though he wasn't an official contestant, and then he got his chance to formally play the game. This isn't even like that. Christy never made it in the house. If she comes back next year, she will be in the exact same boat as all the other house guests that they pick next year. So so yeah, I absolutely think they should give her another chance. But I hope Christy gets well soon, and I hope she gets another chance next year. And hopefully we can see how she would have been, because she was one of the ones where I'm like, I don't know, she might be a nice person, but I wasn't sure if she would be much of a competitor. But that was all my prediction thing, and as we all know, that can That can go pear-shaped really quick. And I have one viewer now. Hello, whoever you are. Welcome. So, of course, with Christie being out, they had to replace her. So, let's talk about her replacement. It is a young lady named Claire. And people found out all they could about her really quick because, obviously, that's what BB Twitter does. And, like, it did not take long to find out that Claire is actually kind of awesome, and she should have just been picked outright. Like she she this is just what I'm looking at on Twitter. She created a 70-ish page BB Bible of competitions, strategy, twists. Like that is some super fan credentials right there. Like Claire, I think I think Claire's going to be a good one. And yes, this is going to be me doing like what I did on my previous stream where I broke down the cast. I'm just going to break down Claire really quick because, just found out about her. And see what other notes I took about her. So this was my favorite thing that she wrote. She said that she admires Vanessa Russo. Now, I just finished watching BB17 yesterday, and I loved it. I loved it so much. And Vanessa Russo quickly became not just one of my favorites on that season, but one of my favorites ever. Her, Steve, and Johnny Mac are like three of my favorite Big Brother players ever. And they're three totally different players with totally different strategies, but they all got them pretty far because Vanessa came in third, Johnny Mac was fourth, and of course Steve won. So yeah, that was pretty awesome to see. So hearing that she admires Vanessa tells me that she's gonna try to make the big moves that Vanessa made. And Vanessa was just I like Vanessa because she was relentless. Like she didn't slow down. Just everything. She was playing speed chess for 98 days. And it was fascinating to watch. Like she didn't miss a single detail. It was it was really amazing and impressive to watch Vanessa play. And like would have been awesome if she was on All Stars last summer, but I heard that she had like just recently had well, I forget if it was her or her partner that had the twins. I think Vanessa had twins, and her partner had one child before. And yeah, I think Vanessa was the one who had twins. So yeah, she turned it down just to, be a mom, which, is a totally understandable reason. But I mean, I loved Vanessa, and if Claire can be even half as good a player as Vanessa, then I think we are gonna be okay this season with her. She said she wants to target big threats right away, which is like the kind of thing Vanessa did. Hello to my second viewer. Hello, welcome. But yeah, Claire said she wants to target big threats, and I am really curious to see what would happen if Claire wins power early on. Like she could shake the game up early. And another thing she said was she can blend in with like alpha bros and just listen to the kind of dude stuff they talk about, like sports and cars and whatnot. A lot of typical alpha male stuff. Like she said that she worked in that kind of industry or works in that kind of industry. Like it's male dominated, so she's used to it. So she can like blend in with them. Now, what I would really like to see is see her get in good with the alphas of the season, which from the looks of it are probably going to be Travis and Brent and maybe Christian because they look like broy type of guys. So I would love it if she like gets in good with them and then wins HOH, like pre-jury and targets them. Or, better yet, she convinces them to target each other. Because that would be a true Vanessa Russo move. And I would love to see it. So I think Claire has a lot of potential. But, sometimes on Big Brother, like right away, people just nominate people week one that it's like, not too close with you. No one seems too close with you. Just going to play it safe. And, there's always the risk that Claire might fall into that subset of BB player. But I hope that doesn't happen. I hope she can win some power and make a difference and shake things up before it gets too repetitive. Let me just brush my hair back. The front was sticking up, so I just had to push it back with the headset. Get that too, I guess. I hope that Claire can be as interesting a player as I think she can be. Now, we got some more in-depth interviews with the rest of the cast. They couldn't do one for Hannah because she just got here. I mean, there was okay. I saw some kind of interview with her. Like she was asked the questions, like the typical BB questions. But like U.S. Magazine, they did interviews with the cast, and it's the cast except for Claire apparently. So I'm gonna run through those, see what everyone said, and just kind of break down how I feel about it. Now, for whatever reason, U.S. Weekly does not have them in in like alphabetical order or any real order that I can tell. Well, nope, it's not alphabetical order. Like the first one it has is Christian. His last name starts with a B, and I'm like, well, maybe it's alphabetically by last name. And then after him is Claire, and her last name starts with an R. And yeah, it's just, I mean, Derek F is there, so he would come before her alphabetically by last name. But yes, I'm just gonna run through everybody, give some of their answers, and see what I think. Like the questions they were asked, or at least the questions Christian was asked, and I think everyone was asked the same questions. Excuse me. Yeah, those seem to be the questions that they asked everybody. Uh, Questions are: if you had the choice to take your number one ally to the final two, knowing it would be a close vote, or someone you're not close with but can likely beat, which do you choose and why? That's the first question. The second question is: would you ever throw a competition? Why or why not? So first up on this interview thing is Christian. His answer to if you take your ally to the final two or someone you could beat but you're not close to. His answer, uh, it was, I'm in it for the money. I'm going to take someone I can beat. Not going to take an ally, and I hope they understand that. And yeah, I admire that kind of gameplay. Like it's what you got to do. Even if it costs you one jury vote, you might be able to win more from the others. Which is basically what Steve did on BB17. Like he, the final three was him, Vanessa, and Liz. And Steve won that final HOH, and he had the choice, Liz or Vanessa. He was definitely closer to Vanessa throughout the whole season. In fact, him and Liz had like a feud. But when he had to decide whether to send Liz or Vanessa out the door, he said to Vanessa, "You're too good a player. You gotta go." And and you know, he didn't get Vanessa's vote in the end. I thought she would vote for him, but he still got 6 votes. So yeah, he uh he made the right call for his game for sure, and I think the jury respected him. Like Vanessa was like the dragon, and Steve slayed the dragon, and I think the jury respected that big move, even though she was his friend, and he definitely had a hard time doing it. But it's what he had to do, you know. And Christian's answer to the other question: would you ever throw a competition? Why or why not? I honestly feel like this is kind of a tricky question because like it depends. Like I would throw it to secure my own position. I would not do it to secure somebody else's position. Like if me winning HOH would have um like gotten too much blood on my hands because we were at a pivotal moment, but someone else could win it and they would not target me, I'd probably throw it, just to avoid getting too much blood on my hands. Christian's answer to that question, would you ever throw a competition, why or why not? He says, it goes against what I want to do, but strategically, I would if I were on there for like 13 hours with someone, like a member from his alliance. Like in that case, he would, he says. Which, yeah, that's another thing. Like, you know, if you're securing yourself with your alliance member, then I can see a reason for it. But, like, I would never throw a veto competition, ever. Whether I'm nominated or not, I'd go for it. If I wasn't nominated, I'd be like, you know, we can talk this over. We can discuss what should be done. But especially if I'm nominated, I win that veto. I'm using it. Like, obviously. Anyone who wins the veto when they're nominated and doesn't use it is an idiot. And apparently it has happened before. Did it happen on BB19? I forget. I feel like it might have. I don't remember that season too well. And a lot of people are trying not to. Sorry. I keep seeing my hair poke up. That's annoying me. So yeah, those are Christian's answers to the questions. Claire is next. She couldn't interview. I mean, she couldn't answer them. Next is Xavier. You have the chance to take your number one ally to the final two, or someone you're not close with but can beat. Which do you choose and why? And he gave a pretty long answer, but the first sentence is allies gotta go. And yes, that's what I like to hear, Xavier, because I picked him. Like he's my guy. Like I know who my dad's gonna pick first. Xavier's who I'm gonna pick first. My dad's gonna pick Derek F first. Xavier's my guy. I like him. I like Xavier. I I even said in my last stream that he also kind of gave me Vanessa vibes, like a male Vanessa. He does go on to say that he would hate to do it and it's kind of ruthless, but it's what he has to do. The bottom line is I came here to win $500,000. I want to win this for my family and no one's going to distract me. Yeah, that's you do what you got to do in that situation. You get yourself the win however you can get it. And then, would you ever throw a competition? Why or why not? He says, yeah, 100%. If I'm throwing it to the right person, absolutely. And yeah, I agree with that. Like, it does depend. Like, if it's you versus someone you can't trust or has given you plenty of reasons not to trust them throughout, like, yeah, you can't throw it to them no matter what they say, no matter what deals they offer. So, yeah, I respect that answer. Next up, here's my dad's guy, Derek F. Derek Frazier, son of Joe Frazier. And I loved his answer. His answer, like the video of it. Like I'm really just reading the transcripts of the videos. Would you take your ally or someone you're not close with, but you can beat? Um, Actually, his answer to the other question was the one that was kind of circulating on BB Twitter, but he said that he wants to have someone loyal, Someone that he would trust. He knows the votes would be very close. He says he would take it. He would take someone as loyal as his best friend Adam. So, I mean, if it's someone you've known your whole life, yeah, I could see it. But on finale night, like if you're there with your ally, you've known them for 3 months, and yeah, you've spent every day with them. But that still seems like a big move. But he says he would. He says he would take him. He says he would take someone who is as close as his best friend in real life. He says if it's close, but he doesn't say like if he'll definitely win the other way. He doesn't really get too specific about that. Okay, here we go. Would you ever throw a competition? Oh yes, theatrics and all. Oh my god, I fell. I can't even get up. My back. I'm so fat. I can't get up. Whatever I need to do to make it look like, I will give it to you. Give me my Oscar because I'm going to give you the best acting you've ever seen. If I need to throw a competition for my alliance, absolutely, absolutely. I like that answer. Wow, I'm up to 3 viewers. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but for me it is. Hi, 3 viewers. Thank you for being here. Next we have Whitney. And let's see what her answers are. Would you take your number one ally or someone you're not close with but can beat? She says she would choose somebody who won't get the most votes because she's playing for her sons and it wouldn't be worth it. You know, I was not shy about my thoughts that I don't have a good feeling about Whitney. I don't get good vibes from her. I don't think she's. I think she's gonna get in the big alliance that's gonna dominate everything, and she's gonna be very boring. But I will say that is the right answer. I think it's the better answer. Like when you take someone you're close to, like I respect it. Like I respect your loyalty, but I don't know if I respect it as a game move, which is why I don't respect Cody that much because that's what he did on his first season. He could have taken Derek out, but he didn't, and that's why he lost. But then he ended up winning later anyway because Derek rigged the season for him. So, you know, I guess it did pay off for him in the end. Would you ever throw a competition? Why or why not? She says she doesn't think she would ever throw it. But you know, sometimes you win an HOH, you get more blood on your hands than you anticipated. Hello, found you through Twitter. Happy to listen to your opinions on this new BB season. Hello, Simply Jess. There's a lot of S's in there, but that's okay. You are my newest follower, and if you showed up, I was going to say thank you for the follow. So thank you, Simply Jess, for the follow. I'm just going to say your name like a snake. Simply Jess. Hope you forgive me. And I hope I didn't just make you unsubscribe. But yeah, I feel like you should be open to throwing a competition because like sometimes it could blow up in your face if it's too bloody of a week and like you could have avoided that blood. Like you if you knew it was gonna get ugly, you could have avoided that. And next we have Captain Red Flag of the season, Travis. If you had the choice to take your number one ally to the final two, or someone you're not close with but can beat, who would you choose? And he said, I would take my number one ally because that's someone that strategically worked with me throughout the game to kind of finesse, and I think they would be more deserving of it. This guy, he is saying that he would, like, if he made it to the end with his ally, he would be like, they're more deserving. So it's like you're too willing to throw on your sword and to throw yourself on your sword. And don't I don't like that. I don't want him to just like give up that easily. So like, because we all know he and Brent are gonna be best friends. Like everyone knows that's about to happen. So like, if he gets to the final two, the final three with Brent and someone else, like let's just hope for that third person to win the final HOH. Because if Travis wins it, he's just gonna throw himself on his sword. And that's boring. It's like Clay from BB17. He gave up his game for a showmance that ultimately lasted like a month after the show ended. And it's like, really, dude? So yeah, I feel like Travis is gonna have a lot of things handed to him in the game, but he doesn't even really seem to want to be there too much because he's that willing to sacrifice his game for his best friend in the game. Hello, so excited. BB23 tomorrow. Hello, Estuary. I've seen you on Twitter a couple times. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it. Just breaking down everybody from the U.S. magazine interviews online. And we're at Travis right now, going through his answers. Would you ever throw a competition? He said that he would throw a competition. He may throw the first, if not first couple, HOH and veto comps. I don't know about throwing too many of them. Maybe throw the second one because uh, no one who has ever won the second HOH has ever won Big Brother. So maybe maybe throw that one. By the way, if anyone's curious, my drink of choice is watermelon crush, which I didn't think I would like, but I actually do. Which, that could end up being true for Travis. I don't think I'll like him, but what if, what if he surprises us all? But I doubt it. All right, up next we have Tiffany. Now, here's what I like about her answers. She was really short and sweet on them, like shorter than most, especially on her first one. Like it's one sentence. If you have the choice to take your number one ally or someone you're not close with but can beat, who do you choose? And this is all she said, verbatim. I take the person I can beat. Yes, Tiffany. That's how you play. That is a player move right there. That is big brother moves right there. And I respect that. Would you ever throw a competition? Why or why not? I don't plan to throw any competitions, but there may be some that I may not need to win, so I guess I'll see when it happens. Exactly. Like, don't set yourself up to be the one that has to get too bloody that week. That's what you have to be mindful of at all times. Sarah. Sarah's next. You have the choice to take your number one ally or someone you're not close with but can beat. Who do you choose? I will be taking anyone that I can beat to the final two. Love it. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. This is what I want to hear. This is why I started watching Big Brother. This kind of cutthroat gameplay. Like you identify your competition and you get rid of them whenever you can. You can get close to your competition for a while, but when push comes to shove, you got to do it. You just got to do it. No one really respects anyone that takes their friend to the final and loses. Just saying. Would you ever throw a competition? Why or why not? I expect I will probably throw a lot of competitions because I am going to be trying to be a bit of a floater and not show my hand. Now, there's a right way and a wrong way to play a floater game. Like, I mentioned BB17 a lot because it's the season I just finished yesterday. The final two, Steve and Liz, they had elements of floater games, but, it wasn't a full floater game because they both won HOHs and vetoes. Steve won 4 HOHs in that season. Like, a floater doesn't win four HOHs in a season. Okay, and Liz won three, I think. BB17 was a great season. Yes, it was. Oh my god, I have now seen every season from BB17 onward. I started watching in 18, and I've watched every season as it aired, and then I just watched BB17 over the past week and a half or so. And without question, BB17 is my favorite that I've seen. Like, it is not close, even a little bit. But I feel like, have you seen any international seasons or just US? Just US so far. I haven't really found any ways to watch other seasons, but I wasn't really trying to keep up with the last season of BB Canada, but I heard a lot about it, and like I heard about a lot of things that happened on it. Like I did hear about the team twist that they had, and I heard about the invisible HOH, which fascinates me, and I would love it if they bring it to America. But but yeah, I think Steve and Liz played floater games to an extent. Like they got people to do their dirty work for them, but then they did their own dirty work after a certain point. Like they did what they had to do, and I respect it. So, like that is the way to play a floater game. Don't play a coaster game. Don't be someone who just gets very far in the competition without even trying. Like Annalise on BB21. She did no work on her season and came in ninth place. What did you think of the twin twist in BB17? Uh, I thought it was going to be Shelly, actually. That was my guess. Like, I didn't watch it when it was on, but my brother did, and I saw bits and pieces of it here and there. And I was vaguely aware that there was a twin twist that season, and I was vaguely aware that it was uh, one of the women, well, two of the women. And I was just looking at them, and like I was seeing Shelly and Clay get into a showmance, and I was just like, I want it to be Shelly, so that Clay will be anguished because I hated Shelly and Clay. I really hated Clay. Like Shelly was at least a decent player, but like that showmance was the death of her. So when it turned out that it was Liz, I was surprised. And it definitely was not until after jury that I was able to tell them apart. Like Liz, like me, has a mole on her cheek, like right there. See that? Although I think she has it on the right side of her face. But but yeah, that was how I was eventually able to tell them apart. Couldn't stand Clay either. Did anyone like him? Like for real? I can't imagine anyone had any remote interest in that guy. He was just so vanilla and basic. Okay, now back to BB23. Back to the interviews. That was Sarah. Next up, we have Kyland. And his question, you have the choice. Take your number one ally, no one to be close, or someone you're not close with but can beat. Who would you take? He says, that's a question. I feel like you made it a little bit easier by saying that it would be close. If it was a guaranteed loss, then I would have to rethink my answer. But if it's going to be close, I'll bring them with me. Now that's interesting because he's really the only one to really kind of analyze the wording of the question a little bit more. So I think that's an interesting answer for sure. Because like yeah, close, then you run a risk. Like, but hey, everyone likes a 5-4 result, except it happens on seasons people generally don't like that much. Uh, well, I guess people liked 18 and 20 enough, and those seasons were 5-4. Would you ever throw a competition? Why or why not? He said, I would definitely throw a competition comp beasts aren't known for making it to Final Two. Now, that used to be true for sure, but then in recent times, the people who are comp beasts right away, they just get to run the house, and everyone follows them blindly. Like, Tyler and Mickey and Paul. And they make it all the way to the end. And in Mickey's case, they win. And in Cody's case, they win. So, comp beasts, like, you'd think they get targeted earlier, but, sometimes everyone's just like, I want to be close to this person and use them to get to the end, but then not take them out when I get to the end. Yes, that was a sassy sip. That was a sip to punctuate sassiness. Next, we have Frenchie. Now, this is an interview answer that has proven, shall we say, upsetting to some longtime fans of the show. LOL, sassy sip. What can I say? Ugh. Frenchie, ugh. Well, his other answer is not great either. Like his answer to the first question. Number one ally in a close vote or someone you're not close with but can beat. He said, "I am taking the close vote all day long." Oh wait, no, it is this one that he royally screwed up. This is the one. I'm actually gonna read this one verbatim instead of just summarizing. I am taking the close vote all day long. I would rather go to the end knowing that I deserve that win over a gimme. And a lot of people get mad. Fans, they be like, they apostrophe RE be like, be like, oh, you should have took him because you could beat him easily. Yeah, but the greats never did that. The greats like Derek. Derek took Cody. He could have took, Victoria, but he took Cody. Editor's note. Cody took Derek. Drake Bellick note. And Cody lost that season. This guy does not know his Big Brother history, and he was the one who was said to be the big super fan from BB Twitter. And it's like, seriously, dude? And I respect that move because, yes, it may have been harder to win, but at the same time, at the end of the day, he deserves that win, in my opinion. Yeah, Frenchie totally screwed that one up. Would you ever throw a competition? Why or why not? I will never throw a competition. Yada, yada, yada. Whatever. I don't think. Again, I go back to if you're going to get too bloody, then you're in trouble. You have mixed feelings about Frenchie. I just don't think I'm going to like him that much. I feel like he's going to be kind of an issue. I feel like he's talking a big game, but since he proved that he doesn't know his Big Brother history all that well, even though he's like the fan that was cast off BB Twitter, I don't know. I don't have a good feeling about him. And now we have Derek X. Would you take your closest ally in a close vote, knowing it would be a close vote, or someone you're not close with but can likely beat? I'm going to sound like a villain here, but for the 500K, I might bring the person that I can beat. You know what? That's what you gotta do. That's not even a villain. That's an anti-hero. You know, like you do what you gotta do to win the day. Would you ever throw a competition? Why or why not? I would throw a competition if it was strategic for my game. That's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying. If I knew the other person had my back and I could win a future competition because of it. Yes. Estuary, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. uh, Frenchie may have been only the second most talked about uh, answer in these interview questions. Um, Brittany is next, and she definitely she was talked about more, I think. Do I dare read this whole thing? Should I? If you had the choice to take your number one ally to the final two, knowing it would be a close vote, or someone you're not close with but can likely beat, which do you choose and why? Oh my god. Do it. All right, hold on. Let me take a drink. Make sure my mouth is wet enough for this task. Okay, here we go. I guess the situation would be, and I thought about this too, if I had an ally that I worked with since day one, day two, we made it to the final three, and it's my call, that person's coming with me at the end. But if I'm there by myself and it's someone that I've been kind of working with and a person that I know I'm beating at the end, I'm taking that person. That's it. I will give them 50,000 because I know that I'm getting the 500,000 and I know that I'm getting in there with one option in mind. You know what I mean? I will be honest. If I have a final two, I don't see that final two getting to the end. At least, dang it. At least the both of us getting to the end. I don't know why I see it that way, but no, I think that if it's someone that I've been aligned with since the beginning, they're coming with me. I don't care how close to the game it is. My loyalty to that person means more to me as a game player. If I'm there by myself, I don't know. I guess it'll just be situational for me. Because for me, if I think it's going to be 5-4, then maybe not. But if I think it's going to be 6-3, 7-2, then of course I'll bring them. But if it's a 5-4 vote, I don't know. I don't want to be palled. I don't want to be palled twice. Okay, I just want to win. I just want to be clear cut, and that might be how I do it. Call me weird for bringing the weaker player, but if they got there, they must have done something. Would you ever throw a competition? Why or why not? Per CBS, due to time constraints, Brittany was not able to answer this question. the the last part is my favorite. She she practically recited the Gettysburg Address to answer that first question. My God. And like you may have saw me catch myself at one point because like when I was going through that because I caught myself like, did I read that right? And then I just had to double check and I was like, no, I did read it right. It was uh where is it? I don't care how close to the game it is. How close to the game it is. That makes no sense to me. Uh, but yeah, listen. Once Britney's TikTok was discovered, a lot of people were like, "Well, she's gonna be annoying." But to me, doing goofy dances on TikTok, that's not enough for me to call you annoying. Okay, like a lot of people are on TikTok. A lot of people do really ridiculous and sometimes really gross stuff on TikTok. So just having some cheesy dancing, that wasn't enough for me to be like, she's gonna be annoying. I'm not gonna like her. That that speech she gave as her answer to that first question, that was so long she was unable to answer the second question. Um, that is indicating to me that she might be annoying. I now think she might end up being kind of an annoying player. But if she wins power and takes a big shot, then I will retract everything, and I feel like a lot of people will. But yeah, Brittany, she is going to be a handful this season. All right, next up we have the closest one to me. He's from Rhode Island. I'm from Massachusetts, and Rhode Island is the closest state line to me. And like where he is in Rhode Island is not even too far across the state line. But really, nowhere in Rhode Island is too far from the state line. Anyway, Brent, take your number one ally to the final two, knowing it to be close, or someone you're not close with but can beat. Who do you take? He also gave a pretty long answer. I'll summarize this one as best I can. He says he tried to stay true to what he said, but then he would also have to go with the person that would allow him to win. And yeah, that's if that's what's if that's what you got to do, it's what you got to do. And like I said with Travis, him and Brent, they're gonna be the bros of the season. Everyone knows it. It'd be way more interesting if they targeted each other right away, but that's not going to happen. Uh, so, well, I'm just reading the rest of it. It says he would promise to get far in the game with them. And I think that's better than a final two promise. Although it does make it so the other person might not trust you 100% the whole time. But I feel like Travis said Brett and Winston are his favorite BB duo of all time, and those two showered together. So I would not be surprised if Travis and Brent do the same kind of bromosexual things. But if they're both Travis and Brent in the final three, Travis wins that final HOH. Brent has nothing to worry about. Brent wins that final HOH. I feel like there's a possibility there that he would cut Travis. I think. The last thing he said, I actually do admire this statement. At the end of the day, a $500,000 never broke my heart or stabbed me in the back. That's true. Would you ever throw a competition? Why or why not? This is also a pretty long answer. His two answers combined are probably about as long as Brittany's one answer. He says he doesn't think he would throw a competition because he does believe that you can't trust anyone. And yes, sometimes in Big Brother, the trust people have is like, why? This is like, you know that they're here to win. So you can't just put blind faith in them because odds are it's going to blow up in your face. Winning and playing to win every single competition is the only way that's going to certify some type of safety and control that's in my corner. This second question, I don't feel as though there's a right or wrong answer. Like, I don't feel there's a right or wrong choice, but I feel like there's a right or wrong explanation as to why you would do it. So that's how I feel about it. Ha, Hannah, dang it! So she wasn't due to time constraints. She wasn't able to answer any questions. Uh, oh come on, I can find something about Hannah. I know I can. I mean, I will say about Hannah that I like her. I like the vibes I get from her. Come on, this. I know I saw something. Nah, I can't find it. Although she does say, I mean, I think I mentioned this before, but her favorite duo is Davon and Bailey, which I admire. You always gotta admire that because now they were loyal to each other, but of course, Christmas saw it as a threat. She didn't see the two muscular white guys, Cody and Enzo, as a threat. But I feel like Christmas wouldn't see that because that doesn't seem like her character. Isn't Hannah the youngest of the housemates? I believe so. Yeah, she's 21. I believe someone pointed out that if her birthday has already happened this year, then she is the first house guest born in the 21st century. So, yeah, that'd be kind of crazy. Yeah, I wish I had her answers here, but I can't find them right away. I don't want to spend the whole time looking. I probably should have double checked this thing before I actually started this stream. But yeah, Hannah is someone who gives me good vibes. Like I I gotta harken back to Vanessa Russo here. She reminds me a little of Vanessa. And if she's able, if she too is able to gain some power early in the game, I'd like to see what she would do, because I think uh, I think we would eat well that week as a fan base. All right, up next we have Azah, and I think that's how it's pronounced. I'm sure once I meet her, once I see like her intro on the show and she says, "Hi, I'm," the proper pronunciation of her name, I will get it right from there. I promise. Now I know a lot of people have been standing her quite a bit, Azah, but I'm not overly in love with her answer to the first question. You had the choice to take your number one ally in a close vote or someone you can beat but you're not close to. Who do you choose? And she says that she would choose the loyal person to the final two because she believes in loyalty to a fault. And I I feel like possibly that could um, be the thing that costs her the game if she makes it to the end. I just I don't know. I think that's a I don't know. I just it doesn't I didn't like that answer too much. And like I was getting good vibes from her a lot, and I think I'll still like her as a person. But I guess like if we want her to get to the end, we can't be rooting for her closest ally in the game to get to the end because it could cost us the game. Would you ever throw a competition? Why or why not? Oh, absolutely. I definitely plan to throw the first competition so I can see who wins and evict them later. I like the sound of that, but you got to be careful that you aren't the first target. Like, try not to be the first one to drop, just in case they want to be like, oh well, these are the first ones to lose the competition. So I'm just gonna put them up just to play it safe. But don't be the last one standing either, just in case they're like, well, this person almost won, so I think I'm gonna put them up. Like, just just try to end up in the middle somewhere, and you might be okay. As you might get past the first week. And finally, we have Alyssa. You have the choice to take your number one ally, knowing you're to be close, or someone you're not close with but can beat. Who do you choose? It's hard to say, but I feel like I would be the person to take my alliance member. Now, I predicted in my last stream, and then I went and posted it on Twitter. I predicted that Alyssa would be the big flop of the season because a lot of people like her already. But for me, it was just like, I feel like she's just going to be in the big alliance. I feel like she and Travis are probably going to be in a showmance. And I think Brent might end up with Whitney in their own showmance. And just hearing her say that she'd take her alliance member, I don't know. I feel like she's not very cutthroat and she's just going to lay back and let other people do the throat cutting. And I'm just like, that that kind of gameplay doesn't interest me in the slightest, if I'm being totally honest. I could see that happening, yeah. Exactly, Estuary. Would you ever throw a competition? Why or why not? I would never throw a competition. I don't even understand that. Well, you can understand it. I understand how it might help other people, but we're all here for ourselves. Okay, but sometimes it could it could hurt you. Like if you know, like I said before, if you're gonna get too much blood on your hands by being HOH, if you have to hurt somebody, and that could cause a ripple effect that could come back and bite you, and maybe not right away, but eventually end your game. So just her saying, I don't understand why people would throw a competition when I have seen a lot of people give very well thought out reasons as to why it could occasionally be a good idea. Yeah, although she does say, I would never throw a competition unless it makes sense to, but I don't see why it makes sense. So that tells me she doesn't have a lot of BB instincts. There, I said it. I said it. I stand by it. Alyssa is going to be the season's big flop. And I predicted alongside that Sarah was going to be the biggest surprise of the season. And I believe I liked her answers. Let me just scroll back up real quick. Come on, where is she? Okay, yeah. Yeah, she's going to take anyone she can beat to the final two. That's that's more evidence that Sarah is going to surprise us. And also, it's come out that she's a total anime nerd, so that has won her some support. That she's just a full blown otaku. So I think I think she'll be fun to have. So I think Sarah's going to be our big surprise of the season. But and when I had made that prediction, Christie was still there. Claire hadn't replaced her yet, so Claire might end up being the biggest surprise of the season just for the fact that she's a last minute replacement. I'm excited about Sarah. Me too, simply Jess. I told you I was going to do it. But yeah, Sarah, I I'm giving her a chance. Probably more than most people are. But yeah, I think Sarah might be close with Brittany, but I feel like push will come to shove, and like Sarah will want to go against the house in voting Brittany out, and Sarah will vote against her friend if she's not nominated next to her. Not that I approve of voting with the house blindly, but I think Sarah will do what she has to do, and I'm here for it. So that's everybody. But some other topics I could talk about. Oh, well, I mean, like the house. We got our first looks at the house. The like for the most part, it looks pretty nice. But one thing I did notice, and will point out, the ceiling in the HOH room. It looks like it's not finished. Like it I said I said on social media that it looked like the ceiling of a basement bedroom or basement apartment that you would see in 1996. Like it looked rough. Like it looked like there was water damage. It was just like a drop tile ceiling, and it didn't look great. Like the rest of the house, they clearly had a decent budget. The house is tricked out pretty well. So I don't know why they didn't take care of the ceiling, and I'm very curious about that. I don't know how they didn't notice that in the photos before posting. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was just kind of figured they have probably just a lot of lights and stuff on the ceiling, just to like make sure everything's nice and illuminated and camera ready. But no, it's just a crappy drop ceiling. Oh, and one other thing that I took note of, like people haven't talked about this too much, but I think it's gonna help balance the teams a little. Apparently, the teams are going to have to be two males, two females. So, like that'll prevent it from just being four bros getting together. Travis, Brent, Christian probably, and then I don't know, probably Frenchie would get in there too. But doing it this way, I think you run the risk of it being Travis, and then he picks Brent, Alyssa, and Whitney, and he just has his big alliance, and then he just aligns with one other alliance. I'm telling you, Travis is going to be a team captain. I know it. He's going to be a team captain. He's going to win the first HOH, and he's going to be here for most of the season. I have got the hiccups. I apologize. So I I am I am excited for this season. I think it's a pretty close race between the number of ways that it can go very well and it can go very wrong. I think that at the moment, uh, ways that it can go well, I think that's in the lead. There are more ways that it can go well, that it can go right, and we'll have a good season. But you know, sometimes people people make certain mistakes where it you start wondering if they were influenced from something behind the scenes, which I've come to suspect is exactly what happened with Fessy nominating Scotty when he was HOH in BB20. Like that was the dumbest thing he could have done, and it seemed like production got to him to keep Tyler safe. Yeah, I went there. That's why I liked BB20 when it was on, but I don't like it anymore because, like in hindsight, it seemed like there was a lot of manipulation that went on to make things go a certain way. Fessy is just dumb in general. Yep, I called him Messy Fessy because he was so messy. And the a friend of my brother's on Facebook watches watches the challenge, and she's seen him there, and her nickname for him is Fussy Fessy because apparently he's a total a hole now, which I can see. And yeah, it's just that guy ruined the season. It was going so well between the hacker twist and his HOH. Like that season, just those were 3 weeks of pain. Although I would be remiss if I didn't mention Rockstar's screw up in the veto competition before she went home. She gave Tyler the right answer when he had the wrong one. That was dumb. I love Rockstar, but that was dumb. Yes, I hope that we get a season like BB17 because I could tell after the first like 2 weeks that I was just gonna love this season. Like I kind of knew I had a good feeling that Steve was gonna win, and then after a while it was confirmed. Like I knew that there was a BB winner named Steve Moses, and I saw Steve there. I'm like, I don't know his last name yet. I don't necessarily know. Steve is not an uncommon name. And then like his hometown segment said that his last name was Moses, and I'm like, oh okay, so he is winning. But I didn't care because I loved him, and I was rooting for him the whole way. I always root for the nerdy guys, and that's why there is part of me that's rooting for Derek X because he looks like a nerdy guy. But for some reason, I get more Ovi vibes than Ian vibes and Steve vibes. But you know, good luck to him. And yeah, I just loved BB17 so much. I want another season with that level of craziness because every week was so exciting. I didn't know what was going to happen week to week because power shifted so often. And yeah, it got to a point where um, the sixth sense took control again. But I mean, it wasn't until after they lost Shelley and Clay, and in the end, none of them won. Steve beat all of them, and Johnny Mac beat most of them. So yeah, let's stop showing BB16 and Sequester. Let's start showing BB17 because that is the kind of messiness that we need. And Audrey, I would be remiss. I just want to talk about Audrey real quick. Audrey, I respected Audrey's um, reason for being there, what she wanted to represent. That was all well and good. I admired the heck out of that. But as a game player, she was one of the worst players I've ever seen. She was so bad. Like, she got herself at the bottom of the house real quick, and then people were like, we might not want to get her out when we have bigger targets. And then she was just riding pretty, and then Shelley was HOH, and Vanessa won the veto, and she proceeded to turn on them and Clay, who was Shelley's showmance. She got all three of them to turn on her, and just like she had to say nothing that week, and she would have been fine. So yes, Audrey, very brave, but very dumb as a Big Brother player. Love Johnny Mac, one of my favorites of BB17. Yes, he was robbed of America's favorite player. It should have been him. It should have been James. Or at the very least, they should have brought Johnny Mac back again. Why didn't he come back for All Stars? He could have made it fun, and he could have won America's favorite that season. Would have been close between him and Davon, I guess, but I would have loved to see Johnny Mac come back or Steve, but I guess him and Ian together, they probably wouldn't do two nerdy guys, two nerdy winners. But yes, Johnny Mac, he was my guy. I wasn't sure what to make of him at first, but he was just too fun. I couldn't deny that I loved him. So yes, this was my stream, giving my thoughts about um, BB23 and the cast interviews and the new cast member, as well as giving some of my thoughts on BB17, which I just finished yesterday. And thank you to Simply Jess and Estuary. Sorry, couldn't resist. Thank you for joining me. And if you're watching this on YouTube later on, thank you for watching. Um, this was a fun stream, and just think in a day and a half, we're going to be looking at the feeds, seeing the alliances form, seeing people get to know each other. We're going to start seeing some strategy because the first HOH is apparently going to be crowned on the premiere. We're almost there, people. It's tomorrow night. And I am extra looking forward to tomorrow night because me and my dad decided we are going to celebrate and ring in the new season with Five Guys. Yeah. Hopefully to a great season of BB23. Exactly. We're Five Guysing as a cheers to a hopefully great season of Big Brother. And I am ready. I do like this cast. I like the potential of this cast. And let's just get crazy, Let's not have another boring summer like last summer and the summer before, especially last summer. Like we even couldn't even leave our house to do something more interesting than watch BB22. Enjoy your Five Guys tomorrow. I'll definitely try and catch some of your other streams. Yeah, I'm gonna stream as much as I can once the season gets going. I won't always have the house to myself. Like I still live with my dad and my brothers, and my brother works at night, so he sleeps during the day. So I might not be able to do it too often. But yes, I will. I will stream anytime I get the chance. And also, like I play video games too. I just restarted Red Dead Redemption 2. If anyone's interested in that. So if you're watching this on YouTube, remember you can check me out at Twitch. Username is Drake Bellick. And for those of you um, here on Twitch, if you want to go watch my past streams, my past Big Brother streams, it's my YouTube channel is Nick Grimes. named after Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead because I'm a big fan, as you can tell by my Lucille shirt. Um, but yeah, there's a few Nick Grimeses on YouTube. Just look up Nick Grimes Big Brother. You'll find me pretty quick. But yes, thank you for watching. And I will see you next time. And here's hoping BB23 is able to deliver. Peace out.